This is fine.
Welcome to Come and Take It. Happy Tuesday. So if there were ever a college in the state of Texas that you would think, if there was going to be a college, a university, a public university that was somehow immune to this whole woke mind virus, if there was going to be, you could just choose one, okay? Which would it be? As much as I love my Longhorns, okay, I didn't go there. I do adopt them as my team. I did have season tickets while I was in school at Texas State, okay? So I did earn my keep. I paid plenty of money for those season tickets. So as much as I love my Longhorns, UT is in Austin. There's it doesn't stand a chance. So that one's out. Maybe you could say, well, Texas Tech is in good old Lubbock, and that would be the one. I mean, I would say Texas A&M really has, or at least at one point had, a reputation for being super conservative. Okay. In fact, I think this was last year. Towards the end of last year, 2023, they boasted being ranked 13th most conservative campus in the country. And by the way, in that list, the only public university that ranked higher than A&M in most conservative campuses was, I believe, Utah State, coming in at number 10. So 13th most conservative campus in the country, Texas A&M. You would think if there was one school in this entire state that would be like, we are not doing any of this woke nonsense, the radical gender ideology, the anti-white sentiment, the anti-Israel sentiment, we're not doing that here at Texas A&M. And I think naturally parents would think, if you send your kid there, first of all, you're sending them to a cult. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I know I work with people who went to A&M, and I have friends who went to A&M. So I kid, okay?
I'm kidding. Kidding. Totally kidding.
But you would think if you're sending your kid there, you could insulate them from all of the radical left ideology that's going on in other public institutions. Well, you'd be wrong if you think that. So Texas A&M is now offering a DEI course in their fall 2024 semester.
Wildly inappropriate.
In fact, it gets worse. I'll keep going. It's not just a course. You see, you can get yourself a social justice leadership certificate. You can frame it, put it on the wall. Now, I would go to Walmart or just get the frame as a bargain, because it's not going to be worth anything. But you can get a social justice leadership certificate. I'm going to read you directly from A&M's website. The certificate in social justice leadership was developed for leaders committed to addressing inequities. Notice they didn't say inequality, addressing inequities at nonprofit and public service organizations. CSJL, Certificate in Social Justice Leadership, explores how public servants, from on-the-ground volunteers to donors, transform institutions, systems, and structures. Research continues to showcase the advantages of diversity and inclusion of salaried and non-paid employees at public and community service organizations. And then it goes on to say they're going to focus on understanding the basics of social justice and its dimensions, the role cultural competency plays in public service, managing and leading diversity initiatives, and creating social change by utilizing learnings to take action.
Nice work, Rico.
Well, that's a whole lot of fancy words to say you're just teaching people to be racist. That's it. I didn't have to use all my SAT words to just be like, we're teaching people to be more racist. Against white people, though, so somehow it's okay. So in this engaging course, participants will tackle such issues as barriers to racial equity within nonprofits, workplace culture and dimensions of DEI, employing leader behaviors that impact equity, successful approaches to managing diversity, and as mentioned in the in the course description, taking action and creating social change. Ah, yes, creating social change, because that's really what all of this is about, right? Creating more little soldiers into the woke army who are going to go out and implement this racist ideology into the real world. This time, into nonprofits, apparently. By the way, anyone see how this DEI policy, this DEI initiative is going? How's it going in the real world? How's it going within just our current administration? How's that going for us? Do you trust the Black, also Indian? She claims like every single race and ethnicity. So I think she's trying to check off all the boxes. The vice president. Remember, she's the first Black, Indonesian.
You like Indonesian food?
Woman, vice president. She's got to check all those boxes. How's that going with her at the helm of things? How's it going with Karine Jean-Pierre as White House press secretary? How is, of course, Pete Buttigieg doing there as transportation secretary? How are any of these woke hires? What about who was the guy that worked in nuclear? Sam Brinton, I think his name was, who got like arrested for stealing people's luggage because he was stealing their luggage.
This is fine. I'm okay with the events that are unfolding currently.
Turns out, hiring based off of what color your skin is or who you like to sleep with is actually a really terrible way of hiring people, which literally anyone with 2 functioning brain cells could just tell you offhand. They don't need the real world experience of doing it. They could just look at it on a piece of paper and say, this is a really bad idea, guys. Here's what DEI is. It's racism just against white people. Like if we could just succinctly sum up DEI in a nutshell as swiftly as possible. Racism, just against white people. We don't need racial equity in nonprofits, in for-profits, by the way, in institutions, in schools, in organizations. There is literally no place where we need to be concerned about racial equity. Like, why? Why do we need to be concerned about that in our institutions? The most qualified person for the job, for the scholarship, for the position, for whatever it is that we're talking about here, for the nonprofit, whatever it is that we're talking about here, the most qualified person for the job should be in that position, period. Any other characteristics that this person has, specifically any characteristics that they can't control, like the color of their freaking skin, any other characteristics should be like absolutely not even considered, right? Like America is the greatest nation. Well, yeah, I'd still call it the greatest nation. Not for long the way things are going, but America is the great nation that it is because of our meritocracy, because everyone has this opportunity to pave their own way, to achieve the American dream. Everyone has this equal opportunity to advance as far as they want to go. I mean, we talk about all of these achievements and achieving the American dream, and it's just so funny to me whenever I hear it's usually Black women who are in Congress talking about how Black women are treated so poorly in this country, and I'm like, you literally are at one of the most prestigious careers, or at least it used to be. It's descended lately, but that used to be like, that is one of the most prestigious, esteemed careers that you can have in this country. I mean, we have a Black woman as on the Supreme Court. Now, she doesn't know what a woman is, which again goes to show you how terribly DEI is going for us. But this country is not a racist country against minorities. And, it's just so funny because I talk about people, I talk about meritocracy. I talk about all of us having that equal opportunity. I talk about that. You know who agreed with me? Martin Luther King Jr. Like, it wasn't that long ago that he was saying things like, I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Oh, how quickly it only took, several decades for the left to be like, yeah, we're going to throw that out the window. We actually want to go back to judging people only by the color of their skin again. I feel like that was not a great time. Like, we all can agree that that was not a great time. Oh, but wait, we're judging white people now, so that's fine. Like, it was wild to me. I was reading, I think it was Harvard Business Review, and it was an article about microaggressions. And it said in this article, this was unironically, like this was it wasn't a joke. It was talking about microaggressions. And it said, the statement, I believe the most qualified person should get the job is like a microaggression because that's racist against minorities. Well, I don't know, call me crazy, but I think it's racist to presume that Black people need a handout because they're what? Like not capable of doing it on their own, too stupid to do it on their own. Like, that sounds pretty racist to me.
That's racist.
So I think assuming that Black people like need some sort of a DEI policy to get hired, like a golf handicap for Black people to get hired, like, I don't know, that seems pretty racist to me. So now in 2024, it's controversial to say, I believe in equality. The very same thing that Martin Luther King Jr. was fighting for, equality. It's racist to say, I believe we should all be independent thinkers, capable of achieving success, capable of paving that American dream for ourselves, capable of achieving whatever we want to achieve, regardless of skin color. No. You can't say that. DEI says you're not allowed to say that. Because now we have to be focused on quotas, diversity, equity, inclusion. And again, notice the term equity, very, very different from equality. So this isn't about opportunity. This is about forced success, equity. Okay? So it's one thing to talk about how, like, off the reservation the entire country is, how these DEI policies are failing us across the country. But here in the state of Texas, at a place like Texas A&M, this is what they're teaching people at the Bush School for, Government and Public Service. Yeah, shouldn't be lost on you. It's the Bush School. This is what they're teaching at places even as conservative as Texas A&M. And, you may recall that Governor Abbott signed SB 17 into law, which banned DEI. I think the headlines were all like, this bans DEI in schools. Well, the thing is that it did in certain instances. So the law prohibits universities from establishing a DEI office. It prohibits universities from using DEI criteria in their hiring practices, which is crazy to me because, like, hiring based off of skin color is already super illegal. So it's like crazy to me. We have to give them a double law. We have to give the left double law to prevent them from being racist. I mean, and then, by the way, they're still going to do it. They'll still find these like little loopholes and no one will know. But using someone's skin color as a reason to hire them or not hire them is not legal. But it also prohibits universities requiring employees or prospective employees to attend these like mandatory DEI trainings, because that was all the rage as well. And so that's what SB 17 did, but it doesn't actually apply to course instruction, to academic research, to scholarships. So there are quite a bit of caveats that are kind of exempted from SB 17 regarding DEI. So apparently, over at Texas A&M's Bush School of Government and Public Service, they're going to plan to heavily exploit that. Now, remember, this is just the course that we know about. This is just the certificate that we know about. I'm sure there's more. If you did digging, I'm sure you could find it. And if you can find it at Texas A&M, you can find it anywhere. Sad to say. So 13th most conservative school in America, not for much longer. Doesn't sound like. Now, I'd like to end by giving my advice to anyone who receives the Certificate for Social Justice Leadership. Set it on fire. It's worth nothing.
This is your opinion?
It's a fact.
You're welcome. Well, that'll do it for today's episode of Come and Take It. You guys help me out and make sure that wherever you're watching this, you're subscribed to this show, but also go over to the other platform, whether that is audio, whether that is YouTube. Make sure you go over to the other platform, the other medium that we have this show on, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Make sure to rate and review us. Give us a good rating, obviously. It'll help us in the algorithm, which we all know the algorithm doesn't like. I can't think of one thing that the algorithm likes that I say. It's not even like, you would think that I would be trying, like it would just be my goal to say all of the things that the algorithm doesn't like. I'm not even trying to do it. It just so happens to be that way. So help us out there in the algorithm. We would appreciate it. And we will see you next week on Come and Take It.